Good afternoon, evening, everyone. Thank you for joining the Saturday night build stream where we are building awesome things such as another awesome computer here. Currently, you'll have to forgive me, the Logitech Rally is still down and out of commission and probably will remain so until we get a new camera. Seems though we have a warranty issue because we purchased it used. I tried. Anyway, we will be probably looking at a couple of different other cameras, such as a Canon. So hopefully that'll help the quality of our camera. But the old faithful PZ2 Logitech camera is going to hold down the fort, I guess, so to speak, until we get that going. All right, so today we are building an awesome PC, and it's another awesome occasion. I like these builds because it's usually there's a lot of excitement around it. Number one, the person that is getting this build has no idea they're getting it, so that's awesome. Number two, we're building it live on stream. But number three, it's for a birthday. So happy birthday. I can't say your name. And I'm looking forward to putting this together for you, so when you do see this video, because I don't think you are supposed to know that we're building it, then happy birthday, man. All right, so to go through the loadout here, so to speak, we're going to go through the parts that we're building with. This is definitely not the right one. Build out. I've got the right one right here. So we are going to be building with the Ryzen 5 4500, which has 6 cores, 12 threads, 4.1 gigahertz max boost. That's out of the box. We're going to be using a Thermalright liquid AIO cooler, and that's over here. It's a 360 millimeter, though it was supposed to be 240. There's a little bit of explanations here. But the cooler, or not the cooler, but the case, the original case for this build that we were going to do it in, is no longer available. Out of the blue. Just, it went out of stock and is no longer available. So we're building it in a very similar case. So it's going to look very close to the same thing as it was, but it is a little bit bigger. And with that, it could fit a 360 millimeter AIO rather than a 240. So we're going with a 360 instead of a 240 for the build because we have the space. So a 240 millimeter AIO, which is Thermalright's Frozen Notes 360 white in white. If you haven't noticed, the build theme is white. And then we are also building on an Asus TUF A520M motherboard. So this is an Asus TUF gaming series. It's got Wi-Fi built into it. It supports the AM4 platform. Great budget-friendly board that will deliver all the features that you'll need around gaming. Let me turn the sound music down just a little bit more. There we go. So the Asus TUF Gaming motherboard, and then also the 16 gigs of DDR4 3200 megahertz. This is the addressable RGB kit by Silicon Power, which is their Zenith series. It's a nice kit, but there's two 8 gig sticks here at 3200 megahertz, and it's CL16. Let me move this over because this is driving me nuts. The 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD, which is what we're going to be using for the storage. That's Gen 3. And it's the A60 if you're wondering what version that is. Exactly. Outside of that, we have the RTX 3050 graphics card. And this is the Asus Dual. So we're going with the Asus motherboard and the Asus graphics card here. This is 8 gigabytes of GDDR6 PCIe 4.0. And it's at factory OC'd. Though this motherboard does not support PCIe 4.0, it'll be backwards compatible and work with 3.0 and work just fine with this card. I don't really see a big problem with that. The power supply we have here is a 650 watt, 80 plus bronze certified power supply, and then we also have some white cable, sleeved cable extensions here for it. And also some case fans by Thermalright, which are the TLC12 CWS. Because there really isn't a name for them. But these are the Thermalright fans. These are actually really nice fans. For the price that you pay for them, you get a lot of quality out of it. But so, without further ado, let's go ahead and build this thing, shall we? So we're going to get started by moving some of this out of the way because we have too much on the table here. Don't need the cooler, graphics card, the fans yet. Don't need the power supply or the cable. The case can kind of just hang out over here, I guess, in the meantime. And we're going to focus in on this area here, which is going to be our motherboard, CPU, and RAM. I hope everybody's Saturday evening is going just as well as ours as we go through and build the build. Saturday is great. Awesome. I'm glad to hear that. Saturday's a good day to get things done. Yeah. Oh, you have a pen? Oh, you need a paper. Please hold. I need to get the Little Miss some paper. Paper. You're very welcome. Okay, so back to building. The AMD Ryzen 5 4500. Great CPU overall still for PC. You're trying to squeeze as much horsepower as you can out of the buck right now. I think this is probably the best thing for your buck when it comes to budgeting. And then we have our Silicon Power 16 gigabytes DDR4 3200 CL16. This is addressable RGB kit. This is their Zenith series by Silicon Power, also known as SP, since that's their logo and a lot of people call them that. Throw the box. Nice. And then we have a 1 terabyte M.2 NVMe Gen 4. This is a 1 terabyte SSD using the M.2 port, which we're going to need a stud. We got our stud. Lots of dad jokes there for the word stud. Especially when you have a stud finder. Don't ask any questions. I don't know why I have one up here. It just happened to be there. Right on. All right, so we've got our M.2 NVMe SSD installed. We have our RAM and our CPU installed. Holy smokes. We should probably get the mounting bracket. So I think with this one, I just clamped on. I don't remember. I'll have to look. But we're pretty much ready just to get the case out and start working on that. So this case is very similar to the 011 Dynamic Mini, which is the smaller version of the 011 Dynamic. Not quite the same, but it's built out very similar. But it's not a Lian Li product. It is a product of AIGO. And really, when it comes to cases, these have been... Who is this build for? Or is it a surprise? It's a surprise. It is actually a birthday build for somebody locally over here by us, who they're planning to pick up the PC, I think, this weekend sometime. They don't know about it. So... it is a surprise. So I'm trying not to, because I don't know if they actually watch the streams or not. So I'm trying not to ruin it. Somebody out there has a birthday coming up here, which I actually know quite a few people have with birthdays coming up. So somebody out there is getting a PC for their birthday. That's all I can say. And hopefully I don't ruin it by doing that. Saying that, you know. You know, we could switch the view. That might be better. Oh, there we go. I also just had a birthday, so as I get older, it seems like I forget more and more things the older I get. But I try. I do. I truly do. It's out of my control at this point. Oh, nice. Happy birthday. Well, thank you. I'll make sure that he watches this. Anything you guys say here, he will see eventually. Because I don't know if he's watching or not, honestly. Don't know. Motherboard has been installed. All right, so the motherboard is installed. We can move on to throwing some fans in here and stuff. Let's actually not get ahead of ourselves and get some of these system cables plugged in before we put anything else into the case. I want to deal with this. This madness. The madness that's inside. Alright, so we've got USB, HD. Let's go down there. And then we've got power and resets. Let's also go down here. Right? Let's just go down from here. And then USB 3. Okay. Alright, so our front panel USB 3 is plugged in. I'm going to do front panel USB 2.0, and then our HD audio, as we lose some cables to the abyss. Dang it. There we go. So we got all our front panel connections installed, or plugged in, should I say. And we can move on to some fans. So we're going to put the radiator at the top. I hope that it fits. I don't see why it wouldn't. Pretty sure it'll fit just fine. And then we're going to put 3 and 3 here. So 3 fans down here and 3 fans up here. Or 3, 2, and 1. Actually not sure how that's going to work out in the end. Either way. This guy's got to come off. And then we can install the fans on the bottom here, which we're using the Thermalright TLC12 CWS, which they are, I think, 1500 RPM and PWM, as well as addressable RGB, and they're in white. And there's 3 in a pack. And overall, I've really liked using these fans. Except for when they do that. They come all tangled up. They just don't want to let go. And then you got 15,000 twist ties to undo before you can do anything with the fan. Here, I'll show you the pile of twist ties when I'm done. Done with the build, that is. Maybe you guys can understand what kind of pain I go through every single day with these twist ties. Just imagine having to do this like 15,000 times a day. Oh my goodness. Wants to sing AAA, I'm on vacation, because I love my occupation. One of Daddy's favorite songs. Holy smokes. Alright, so we need to make sure we're setting these up so that they're intake on the bottom, so that they're sucking air in. Bye. more thermal right fans to go in. Probably a little bit out of sync here because I am zip tying cables that I don't need to be zip tying right now, but I think we're going to go over the top on this one. Okay, now the fans. I can't remember if this is going to fit two 120s or three. I don't think it's going to fit three, so we're going to go two 120s here. Try to space it out the best we can. And then the last one will be rear mounted. These are also set up to be intake. We want as much airflow as we can getting in. We have two on the side, three on the bottom that are intake. And then we'll have a rear that is exhaust to help with the flow. And then the top radiator, 360 millimeter radiator, will be a exhaust as well. So lots of exhaust. And lots of intake. So lots of fresh air in, lots of hot air out. Okay, this one's a nightmare because this one was double twist tied. And twist tied together on the double twist tie. Why is that a thing? Actually hurts my head. Alright. There we are. 2 more side fans installed. Very lovely, right? Alright, we're gonna get this installed, but I think first, before we do that, we need to get our EPS cable installed, our fan installed, and then we'll get the radiator installed. I guess we can do the fan. I think there's enough room to squeeze there, especially with the glass out. Let's just do the fan and then the EPS cables. Cable comb time. more cable combs on the EPS cable. Alright, so we've got a header for our pump, a header for our CPU, but we need headers for our fans. It's like the only other CPU header is here, so I could run it down here. An extension I have here. One here, the other there. Yeah. You won't see that cable really once the video card is in. I'm not too worried about that, but it's down and in and around. So then we can plug the case fans in to a header. So it's time to do the cooler. Again, this is a 360 millimeter AIO, which is bigger than the one that originally is supposed to be in the build, because that's just how it worked out. Well, once again, the story is that they no longer make the case that this build is supposed to be in. We took those out, and there were no more in stock. We ended up going with a slightly bigger case, which supports a bigger cooler. You may as well just put the bigger cooler in there, right? I think it was a couple of extra dollars for us to do the difference. But it is the right thing to do. We want the... We have to change... Oh, man. Every time. We gotta flip these around. And look at that. More twist ties waiting for me. What I'm doing right now is unscrewing all the screws and rotating the fans around because we need the cables on the opposite side that they were pre-installed to. We're just repositioning the fans from their original pre-installed position. More twist ties. Guys, I don't know how many more twist ties I could do here. Might just put me in the hospital. The mental place. But it's okay. I'm still here. Still doing it. What's up? When you lose your screwdriver and you need it. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Is the Force, Luke. All right, cooler is almost installed. Nice. Okay. Radiator installed, but we got to pull some of these cables through. That's going to be tricky. Now before we put that CPU on the block, or that block on the CPU, so to speak, we're going to get this plugged in. Same with the pump. Afterwards, it's going to be damn near impossible to get our fingers up in there to get this plugged in. I don't want to run it all off the same header. I'd rather split it up if we can. We don't need another one of these. Hey, sorry about that. How much is a good PC? Well, it depends on what you want to call a good PC, because your budget could be from, you can build something for around $450 to as much as, $5,000 before you start going into open loop water cooling, which is going to add usually another $1,000 to $3,000 or $4,000, depending on how much you want to spend on all the water cooling components. So it's all up to what are you doing with the PC? What do you want to do with it? And then also, how much do you want to spend? Because just like a car, a performance car, you can throw endless amounts of money into it. Your budget's $2,000. So $2,000 would be, if you're going Intel, it would be an i7 13700K, or you could do a 12900K, which is an i9 versus an i7, but it is a generation older. But I think the 13th gen i7, the i7 13700K, is going to be pretty much close to the same performance as the i9 12900K. But it would be an i7 13700K 4070-ish, 4070 Ti, with probably 32 gigs and 32 gigs of DDR5, by the way, a Z790 motherboard, and it would be a pretty nice PC. So you'd be able to do 4K gaming. It won't be like super high, 100 plus FPS, but it's going to give you, 80 plus FPS 4K gaming, and it'll be enjoyable, especially for single player. If you're playing multiplayer, you're not going to be playing in that high of resolution anyway. You're going to be probably trying to get as much, well, you might be, but you're trying to get as much FPS as you can, not the eye candy. So you'll change it up. But either way, the $2,000 budget is a very, very good, healthy budget, and will get you a really nice PC today, especially with the prices of parts coming down. And I wouldn't wait too much longer, because the holiday season's coming up, and that's when everybody starts buying stuff again, and that's going to drive the price back up. So this is kind of like the sweet zone, so to speak, of summertime, when nobody's buying any computer stuff. At least it's less, and it's impacting the market to the point where the prices are dropping. But that is going to probably most likely change towards the holiday, probably around October, is when I would expect to see prices start to go up. And of course, as always, that is my opinion, not fact. So I can't foresee the future. But overall, $2,000 is a very healthy budget, and it will get you a very nice PC today. In fact, I've got a very similar build behind me. That's a 4070 Ti and an i7 12700K, but we went heavier on some other things in the build for racing simulator, for a racing sim setup. So overall, just to give you an idea, that's probably what you'd get with about $2,000, or should be getting with $2,000. Man, my glasses just need to be super cleaned. Driving me nuts right now. I'm one of those guys that likes to, rub his hair back and do all sorts of stuff with my hair. So I touch my glasses all the time with my hands. Terrible. All right, so let's finally block this CPU with this cooler. I say finally because it took forever to get that cooler in there. Let's see here. The bracket for that is right here. This guy is going to just kind of go like this. Maybe. Right? And then kind of twist and lock into position. We're going to peel this thing off the copper. And then we're going to get some thermal paste on the seat. But before I do that, I'm going to loosen these so they're ready to go. We're going with the Thermal Grizzly, like always, with a thermal paste. This is Cryonaut. Cry, why not? One more twist tie for S's and G's. Oh boy, we're in trouble. Trying not to terrible mess of this. Reason is to clamp onto this thing. There we go. Finally. So this is a clamp that clamps onto the little lips on the plastic, so it just clamps on the lip. So that's the plastic lip. This little clamp goes whoop, loop over the lip and then pulls up. And then these screws that I'm tightening down will apply tension. These screws or nuts on the studs for the clamps, which applies the tension to the CPU. So you don't want to like go super uber crazy on the tension here, but we'll call it snug. Then I got another RGB connection I gotta run. Good gosh. So many of them. Okay. Got all those done. Now, really, I mean, we could just slap the graphics card in here, slap a power supply in here, do a little bit of cable management on the back side, and then finally fire this bad boy up. Sound like fun? We're not very far off from the finish line here. We're doing the RTX 3050 in this build, along with this Ryzen 5 and the 16 gigs, 1 terabyte. Great balanced build. Very nice looking build. For the price. Gotta peel all the peels. Nice. Hey, it's looking like a gaming PC now. How about that? Nice. So all we got left is the power supply and then cleaning up those cables. And then we're firing this bad boy up for the first time to see if it's alive. Nice. Thank you. This thing looks super clean. Sorry about the background noise. What? Oh, okay. Okay. Put it down. I see it. Can't do much. It's a Saturday night and I'm building. What do you expect? All right. Power supply going in. Going to be interesting. All right, so before we plug these in, the rest of these power supply connections, I would like to try to get some of this under control. One thing I didn't think of. Oh, I know, I just bumped the camera, I'm sorry. That was bad. I totally forgot to plug this in. Now I feel absolutely special. So special. Go. Now we're back to square one here. Okay. Hey, Zach, what's going on? What's up? Trying to finish up this build here, so I'm kind of focused on the cable management. Probably the most satisfying but boring portion at the same time of the build. You get to watch all the cables get cleaned up. That's the satisfying part. The boring part is you're watching cables get cleaned up. Almost done. We're going to see this thing fired up here momentarily. I promise. I hate making promises. There's never a guarantee. At least with me, anyway. Bigger zip tie. How's that cable management? I mean, perfect, but good. Huh? That's a weird design. But I'll let it slide. Okay. Who's ready to see this thing turned on? Let's power this thing up. And also, who's actually curious to see how many twist ties I have to deal with? One build. Mind you, one build. This is how many I deal with. I don't know. There's probably 25 here. 25-ish twist ties for the love in one build. Need a more efficient way to remove those. All right, here we go. In 5, 4, 3, 2, where's the power button? 1. Yeah. I don't know where your pen went, honey. I don't know where to go. And there we have it. Powered on, fired up, ready to go. Well, it's not ready to go. I still have to do the Windows installation, drivers, and all sorts of other tweaks to it. So it's not ready to go, but it's ready to go. Meaning we're ready to install Windows and stuff. Which we're going to go ahead and do, but we're posted up. Dada. Yes. You could say hello. Or are you going to mute it? Chloe likes to mute and unmute the mic. It's her favorite thing to do on the stream.
Hi.
Hi. Hello. But here we are. We have the PC all set. It's all built. Is it pretty? Pretty?
Yeah, I put it.
And we have it approved by Chloe that this is a pretty PC. All right, guys. This is probably where I'm going to call it for the night. I'm going to go through run Windows installation over here and get this thing ready to go. I should have this ready to go by tomorrow. Hopefully. So I was supposed to have this ready for the weekend. And here we are, halfway through the weekend. If anybody's interested in this particular build, we do have these available on our website, which you can purchase directly from the website. It's under the budget builds, but I would say this is way better than any other budget build you're ever going to find for the price. and for what you get in it. It's a lot of horsepower, and the aesthetics are just beautiful. So check it out if you want, if you're interested in something like this. We also do custom builds. So if you're interested in getting a custom built PC by us, just go to the website and fill out our custom build request form. And then we'll put together an estimate for you based on the information that you provide us. Anyway, guys, have a good night. Have a good weekend. And I will see you next time on the next stream, which we have several of them this week. So I will be seeing you guys a lot. Tune in on the next one. We'll see you guys. Have a good weekend.